Midday. The air is tense. The tension in the air reminds me of how it feels when an opponent pairing is announced. My pairing hasn't been announced yet. However, I recognize the two girls in front of the bulletin board. The girl in red is Rin Tosaka, and the other is a girl the same age as Rin, or a little older. The girls size each other up, and without a word, each glances away from the other. One of these two girls will die. That is what fate has decided. Rin Tosaka and Ronnie 8 are equally powerful. I can only gain from one taking the other out. I'm not the only witness. It's Julius. He walks over to the bulletin after the two have left. Neither side will hold back in the battle. If I could watch the fight, I could learn quite a bit. Without a single glance this way, they leave. I really don't understand, but I'm nervous anyway. Do you guys like branching paths? The moment I see Rin Tosaka, I know the time has come. Her body language is as aloof as ever, but I can see the focus in her gaze. Today's the day they fight. One of them will die. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Julius. That's nothing unusual, but it worries me for some reason. What Julius said in front of the bulletin board about Rin and Ronnie's battle is still bugging me. Maybe it'd be a good idea to track down Julius. I know where he is. From outside the multimedia room, I hear a faint voice. I put my ear to the door in order to hear better. It's Julius. I can't make out the details, but he's talking about a program's code. I knew it. The firewall around the battlefield is just too strong. The security is highest there. I sense him moving and shuffle away from the door in a panic. There's nowhere to hide. It's you. His aura of murderous intent makes my heart leap out of my chest. But then he promptly leaves. Even though he's tried to kill me in the past, Julius doesn't seem to register my existence. Maybe I'm just not worth it for him to suffer yet another penalty for fighting outside the arena. The multimedia room is a bit bigger than the regular classrooms. At the front of the room is a screen. Instead of a ceiling projector, there's an old-fashioned film projector. That's odd. It could be here all the time for all I know. I never visit this room.
Master, this device is out of place.
My servant is right. That film projector seems to be warping the very air, data around it. Something must have been done to it, probably by Julius. But for what purpose? As I reach out to inspect it, weird. When I touched it, sparks went flying in my brain. I think I was attacked by some program. But although it makes me dizzy, the effects pass immediately. I don't think it did any damage. I wonder what it was. Somehow I don't think it was Julius's doing. I'm pulled from my reverie by the earth-splitting sounds of a weapon. Someone means business. I brace myself thinking Julius has returned, but he's nowhere to be seen. Then suddenly, an image emblazons itself on my brain. Ronnie. Next to her slim form is a giant servant, and facing them are Rin Tosaka and her servant. This must be an elimination battle between the two of them. The film projector spins into motion, projecting images of the battle onto the screen. Gander! Look at them go! Who do you think's gonna win? Who do you got money on, chat? Get your bets in now. Who do you think will win? Getting to watch other masters fight would be a huge advantage in a war like this where information is crucial to survival. It goes without saying that it's a total violation of the rules, but I'd expect nothing less of Julius. In any case, why did Julius leave halfway through? Was that his plan, or did something go wrong?
Eh? Aren't you going to watch, Master? These two are having a pretty wild fight.
My servant draws my attention to the screen. Rin and Ronnie are facing each other. The forms of their servants can't be made out clearly. The image quality isn't bad per se. It's more like there's a masking effect overlaid to hide them. Even with that security measure, I can tell both servants wield long shafts. They're both lancers then. My eyes only see the sparks from their lances as each thrusts, parries, swipes, and defends. Ronnie's servant seems massively powerful, but Rin's isn't given an inch. Either one could win.
I see. The girl in red will win.
Caster declares Rin's victory as if it were obvious.
The other master is aggressive, but she's too slow to respond. At this level, that's a fatal flaw. Oops, sorry. Am I spoiling the movie for you, Master? I'll be quiet now.
Rin notices she's winning too. Her posture is full of confidence. On the other hand, there is a hint of alarm on Ronnie's otherwise expressionless face. And then the clash suddenly stops. I can't make out what's going on, but I can tell that there's space between the two opponents now. The one who backed off was Ronnie. Her servant contorts and starts gathering energy. Even through the blurry screen, I can tell an inordinate amount of power is being summoned.
I am sorry, Professor. I must return the chassis and life you bestowed upon me. Maximum velocity, infinite. Helm to the northern sky. Mode, Osiris. Continuation of duties deemed impossible. In case of failure, destruct self along with Moon. Performing final directive. Wait, what? Atlas homunculi can pull off crazy stuff like that?
You idiot, this isn't something to self-destruct over! After taking a beating from Rin, Ronnie must be intending to use her last resort. Never mind Rin, wouldn't that liquefy the entire arena?
She used her command seal.
That's the trump card you can only use twice in the entirety of the war. It's supposed to be thrice. And Ronnie just used one. No, her command seal isn't what's causing this horrendous power to well up from within her. Her heart is a kiln on the verge of exploding. Anyone who saw her right now could tell. Ronnie's body was built with the capacity to overload like this.
Your magic circuits are at critical convergence. You don't need to throw your life away like this.
Isn't that your specialty? Being a kamikaze? Rin's servant addresses her with a flippant tone totally unsuited to the intensity of the situation. Ah, good old Ku. He's never serious ever. If only this doki dokiing wasn't quite so loud.
Her heart's made of etherlight. Before she blows up the arena, skewer her to the core with your noble phantasm.
Oh, I like it when you're desperate. What a treat. All right, it's finally time to end this. If only we could adjust sound effects without lowering voices, I agree, yes. Hopefully the remake will have that option and also come out in English. At Rin's command, Lancer takes a stance and gathers his strength. It builds and builds until...
And this is the end.
Castor speaks her mind quietly in deference to my feelings, but I get the meaning loud and clear. This will settle the battle. They'll destroy each other before they can even resort to command seals. Both of them might die on the spot. Even if one of them survives, she'd probably be fatally injured. While I'm lost in those terrible thoughts, Castor starts staring at me.
Master, you're not thinking that you ought to save one of those girls, are you?
I didn't realize I was telegraphing my emotions, but more importantly, what did my servant just say? Could there be some way to save them? It sounds like there might be. But what can be done?
Well, I can't say there's no way.
Her eyes downcast, she touches my left hand. My command seals.
This screen connects this place to where they are. It isn't impossible to reach them. But only your command seals could teleport me to where they are.
So it's actually impossible. Still, command seals exist to make miracles happen.
And, I'd probably need another command seal to survive if I have to fight. So, 2 command seals. If it's what you want, Master, then of course I'll do it. But you'll lose 2 precious command seals and save a possible enemy. Do you really want that, Master?
And here is the decision. Welcome to your branching path. Do we save Rin Tosaka or Ronnie 8? Chat, who do you think we should save? Oh gee, I wonder. Rin. Damn, chat, you really want Tosaka to live. Rin supremacy. Chat really wants Tosaka to live. I've got bad news for y'all. Ronnie's going to self-destruct any second. I'm gonna listen to my heart and save her. My servant springs into action with no sign of disapproval. Time is of the essence. Power surges through my feet, electrifying the air and bending the floor. Space warps around me. The distortion rips a hole in the screen. My servant leaps towards it and the world melts into streaks. My vision goes black from the rapid acceleration. My hand tingles where the command seal is burned off. When I open my eyes, I find myself in the arena. Out of the frying pan and into the fire, literally. The air sparks as the arena begins to melt around Ronnie.
Huh? You?
The magic swirling around Ronnie's body ebbs a bit in response to her surprise at the sudden intruder. Before I can so much as blink, Ronnie's hulking servant has turned his spear on me.
No, stop! Berserker! That person is not an enemy!
Ronnie's order falls on deaf ears. I expected as much. Since her servant is a berserker, he can probably only see other masters as enemies.
Whoa! They've seen us! I don't think we can win this! Use another command seal, Master. If we can defend against them, the Seraph should intervene.
Should we use it? Guess what? The answer is... oh, whoa. What do you think, guys? What's the worst that could happen? It's just an answer. She literally just called it Berserker. Silly. I think we'll be fine. Save state. We'll be fine. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, 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 ba da 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 da. Anyway, so in case you don't know, there's a fun little thing about him. And that is that if you cast skills, you win the fight here. We will not die. This hurts your eyes? I'm sorry. It's very red. It is very red. Oh, okay. We're fine. Somehow it was overcome. My intervention is clearly a rule infraction. With a warning from the Seraph, the fight should now be put to a halt.
Ah!
Ronnie's body slumps to the ground. Because she's been run through by the lance of Rin's servant. During those seconds when Castor arrested Berserker's attention, he threw his lance into Ronnie's heart. Sorry, it was too good a shot to pass up. I had to show off my trump card. The giant gives a bestial roar and charges at the lance wielder who impaled his master's chest. However, Boy, did you guys get baited. An impassable barrier drops down between Rin and Ronnie. Maybe it's because of my intrusion, or because of the Seraph declared a victor. Rin is shouting something, but the barrier prevents me from hearing it. She points at me, frightened. No, she's not pointing at me, but behind me at Ronnie. Hooked on the end of the red lance that pierced Ronnie is an energy core on the verge of exploding.
Get out of there! Hurry, log out! Danger, danger, Master. We better do what the Seraph says and log out. We'll die if we're hit by that.
Log out. I know that's what I have to do. If I just give in to the pressure wrapping around my body, I'll be back on campus soon. But then what about her? What about that girl who's lying wounded on the ground? A barrier separates her and Rin. I, who had fought with Berserker, was suddenly by the fallen girl. By Ronnie. She's alive. Even though her chest is pierced through, Ronnie is still alive.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew you'd end up doing this.
Suddenly, I realize I'm running. Toward Ronnie. The lance that pierced her a few meters away, where the core is about to explode.
Why? I'm not worth it. At least, you should get away.
Protagonist stupidity! Activate! I'm not listening. I gather Ronnie in my arms and run, waiting for the Seraph to kick me out. It doesn't happen in time. Faster than the Seraph can log me out, Ronnie's heart liquefies the area. Dun, 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 dun. In the final moments, a lone giant sprints into the light. Ronnie's servant's body breaks apart, becoming a sort of shield for us as he runs toward the heart. I don't know if he did it to protect his master or simply because he saw the explosion as an enemy. But right before he disappears, he turns toward us with a gentle smile on his face. I'm come to in the multimedia room. The command seal on my left hand is now smaller, but my exhausted servant and Ronnie are by my side.
Where? Why?
Those words are all she can manage, before she blacks out. The wound on her chest seems to have healed already, and somehow she's still alive without her heart. I always sensed she was special, even among masters. As I tend to Ronnie, I glance at the screen. It's dark, probably because of the earlier explosion. Ronnie is recuperating in the nurse's office. From the look of things, she's in pain. According to the doctor, she awoke briefly, but immediately fell back into a comatose state. They say her body is fine, so she must be mentally exhausted. After nearly an hour, Ronnie's long eyelashes flutter open. She blinks twice, 3 times.
I lost.
Her voice is small and her words are spoken flatly. She stares blankly into thin air, her eyes glassy and distant. She reminds me of a broken doll. I don't know, chat. Should we hold her hand? Is that maybe going too far? Look, we're harem protagonists. Let's hold that hand. I gently press the delicate wrist as it rests on the bed. My first impression of Ronnie's hand is that it's soft and very, very cold. And so thin. Feeble, like it'd snap if I accidentally squeezed too hard. Even after I've held her hand for a while, her fingers remain icy. Faint breathing and the occasional blink is all that identifies her as a human being. After a short while, Ronnie's eyes slide shut again. Her shallow breaths even out into the deep, gentle breaths of sleep. It doesn't seem like she'll get up anytime soon. I hope the next time she wakes up, she's more alert. Come to think of it, I haven't heard a peep out of my servant in a while. They must be angry.
Me? Angry with you? I could never be angry with you, Master. I was just thinking really hard. Would you feel better if we talked? I always do. Let's see, something to talk about.
The tone of her voice is the same, but her words seem forced. What's really on her mind?
What I'm thinking of, it isn't anything to be talked about, really. I was just thinking how valuable that woman must be for you to have used a command seal for her. But no matter how you look at it, that girl is broken. You wouldn't abandon her, would you, Master? I wonder if that had been me, would you have done the same? Oops, silly me. I shouldn't think about me when my master is the one who's really valuable. My master could use 100, no, 200 command seals and still deserve to use more.
Seemingly satisfied, Castor leaves. Too nervous to call Castor back, I decide to leave for now. Didn't use a command spell on Tamamo when she fought? Well, yeah, of course. You know why? Because I believed in Tamamo. I knew she would win. There was only one answer. Alright. I look up to see Rin Tosaka leaning casually against a wall. She's obviously waiting for me.
Now, I hope you have one hell of an explanation for what you've just done.
Just her glare is enough to convey all of the anger and hostility she has toward me. Not that I blame her. If I had interfered in the Colosseum, we all would have died. Considering her powers as a Magus, Rin could just drag me somewhere to fight like Julius did. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that her curiosity is the only thing keeping me alive.
If Masters can start teaming up, it'll completely destroy the balance of the Holy Grail War. Even the most skillful use of a command seal shouldn't be enough to bypass the Colosseum's security. To be blunt, you don't seem like that great of a Magus. So how did you pull off the impossible? And before you answer, remember that I reward truth and reason, and punish lies and stupidity. Don't be naive enough to think Julius is the only one who knows how to circumvent the rules. I'm willing to risk drawing the ire of the system to deal with the threat of this magnitude.
Since Julius was able to start a fight on campus, I'm sure Rin could easily do the same. If it comes to a fight, I'm in no condition to face her. That, and I really don't want to fight her. If I want to avoid a confrontation, I should probably just tell her the truth.
So, Julius was behind this little stunt. I didn't think you had it in you to do something this low.
As no real battle information was exposed, the identity of Rin's servant remains unknown. Though she'd never admit it, it's obvious that she's more than a little relieved by the thought. Of course, Rin being Rin, her facade of suspicion and hostility didn't disappear entirely.
But if Julius wasn't able to break through the security, how did you manage to pull it off? Trying to break through the firewall could have caused the system to fry your brain.
The Seraph attack program. I remember having to deal with it at first, but it doesn't seem to affect me anymore.
That can't be right. Even if your body is safe, your brain wouldn't be able to handle the strain. Oh, speaking of which, aren't you... I
could see the bewilderment in her eyes. Her confusion almost overcame her normal animosity.
Never mind, I was just thinking out loud. Forget I said anything. However, if you choose to continue fighting, we'll remain enemies. Keep that in mind. One last thing, do not spy on me again. Should you try, your suffering will be legendary.
With that, Rin began to walk away. She then stopped as if a thought just occurred to her.
Hey, does the name Twice Peaceman ring a bell by any chance?
Twice? I can't recall hearing the name. I might have heard the name before, but why bring him up now?
So,
No reason, really. You kind of remind me of him. Never mind, just forget I asked.
I'm left alone with my thoughts as she turns and walks away. And like that, our path has been chosen. But which route are we on, chat?